All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Let me know if the music's at a good level. We got a lot of stuff going on this morning. Again, we got the ADP weekly jobs report coming out at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. So we do have that going live. Last time that showed up at around 14.25 thousand jobs gained weekly. We'll see what that report shows up. It shows up at 8:15 this morning. We also have Meta down this morning. Meta had a UK court ruling that caused them to fall down. It's news that the UK court has provisionally ruled the company's payer consent model violates privacy laws. We also had some other news, I believe, for Meta. Let me make sure. But yeah, Meta down this morning. Meta chief AI scientist is planning to leave to start his own startup, according to Financial Times. The EU plans to assign Meta Platforms, which is WhatsApp and more, as a very large online platform under the Digital Service Act, meaning it must meet high standards for content moderation and transparency, according to Bloomberg. But yeah, UK court ruling causing Meta to drop, I'm pretty sure. You can see Meta down to 620s. We also had the Senate pass the shutdown ending bill. The NASDAQ is down a little bit today. So is Meta. So is Nvda. Nvidia's at 196. Closed at 199s. Almost 200. Yeah, and again, we do have the non-farm employment change data. Let me catch up on the chat. Hey, what's up? What's up, team? Crash? I don't think we're crashing down here. SoftBank sold the entire Nvidia stake. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm looking up all the other news. No money, no short. Good day. Yeah, hey, we'll see what happens. Again, it's an interesting day. Tech is down. Again, here's Meta. Look at the NASDAQ drop down. It's at 25,621s. Bitcoin down to 105s, but it's holding okay. I think Bitcoin over 100,000 is good right now. Yeah, so SoftBank Group has sold its entire remaining stake in Nvidia for approximately $5.8 billion. Is the catalyst y'all are thinking of. Yeah, government's closed right now. The ADP data is private payroll data. So it's a weekly report they said they're going to be doing at the very least until the government resumes. So we get that today at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'll put a timer up. Here, let me get the timer going. Bitcoin break under 100,000. Let's do a poll here. Will the ADP jobs stronger, weaker? Will the ADP jobs report show stronger or weaker growth? This is going to be the question for today. There's the poll. It's now live. NASDAQ is falling down at 25,620s here. Yeah, we do have an ADP jobs report today, which is good. We got something to talk about. Yeah, so again, SoftBank fully cashing out its Nvidia stake here. Yeah, so the UK, with Meta, the drop is driven by reports from the UK that the country's competition regulator, which is CMA, has provisionally found Meta's payer consent subscription model violates competition law. Nvda is down 1.5% to 2% after being hit with a major announcement by SoftBank this morning, confirmed it sold its entire $5.8 billion stake in the company last month in October. Rocket Labs are up 10% this morning. If you look at Rocket Labs, RKLB, they're up to 57, almost from 52. They reported a smaller than expected loss in record Q3 revenue that beat analyst expectations. Beyond Meat down again, but that's not really a shock. Again, the cannabis and hemp sector is under pressure. A shutdown ending bill passed by the Senate includes a provision to ban intoxicating hemp products. So, again, I also see news, and I want to confirm this, but it says optimism from last week's trade deal hit a snag. Wall Street Journal reports that China plans to ease rare earth export controls, includes a new system to exclude companies with ties to the U.S. military. Is that true? Yeah, I'm searching for this now. I want to confirm it. Yeah, so according to the Wall Street Journal, China is developing a validated end-user system to track rare earth magnet exports to civilian U.S. firms while blocking those linked to military applications amid ongoing trade tensions. So apparently they're not ready to roll over when it comes to rare earth exports. They're going to use magnets. But they don't want us to use their magnets for military purposes. Interesting. Yeah, the NASDAQ is down. I mean, if you look at the NQ here, closed at 25.7s, it's at 25.6s. So it's not the biggest drop, but it's not nothing either. Government will probably open by Thursday. I'm hearing that by Wednesday the government would open. I'm hearing Thursday. The House needs to come in session and vote, and then the next day, essentially, it'll probably be open sometime that day. The president has to sign it. So I'm going Thursday is my guess by the government. I hope it's tomorrow, because if it's tomorrow, we have a good shot of at least getting some inflation data this week, right? So if it does open up tomorrow, which again, I'm not super optimistic about, it gives us some time to, it gives them some time to coordinate inflation data releasing. We're supposed to get CPI and PPI data Thursday and Friday this week. If we open up on Thursday, it's definitely less likely we're going to get it on Thursday. Maybe they'll consolidate it to Friday, at least release something for us. But again, we got to wait for them to open to get their schedule. They should be putting a schedule out. You can also look at the SPY here. SPY is down from 618. Again, it's not that big of a gap down here on the SPY. Selling everything before the data reports reopen. Yeah, India trade deal. Chipotle, down about 50% of the year, was the first of several chains to point to slower sales tied to cash-strapped consumers. Meta chief AI scientist, again, is going to leave to start his own startup. JP Morgan downgrades CoreWeave on supply chain pressures. So here's CoreWeave. It's down pretty significantly from 105.60s to 94s. Again, looking at our poll, 67% think we're going to get weekly weaker growth for jobs. Best line drawer ever, top 3 for sure. Yeah, I mean, down here you got to look at 600s, I think, right? Here's 600. Not a shock it bounces there. You can also look at 650, which is right here. That might give us some indication of where it's going. But that's kind of the way the consolidation pattern I see right here. So Tony, Q, payment, Steve, ARM puts. ADP data is coming out today. It's coming out today for sure. Again, it's private payroll data, so they might, and it's a new report that we don't normally get. Right, it's a new report that we don't normally get. And so I don't see it on some of the platforms, but I see it on others. Yeah, I'll put a timer up too. We've got a little bit less than an hour before the report actually comes out here. So this report drops at 6:15. This is in like 40. It'll be 49 minutes. Put 48. Ooh. Oh, it's still a little bit late. I'll put 47. Alright, so here's the timer for the report. It drops here. I'm pretty sure it's coming out today. Let me make sure, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the November report is coming out at 8:15. Last one came out last Wednesday. Blah 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 blah. I'll find it. Gotta be coming out today. They said they were dropping weekly. Yeah. I do see it. I do see it on other sites, so I know it's coming out today. CoreWeave's still breaking down. Nvda is still chopping sideways. Again, Meta's down pretty big after a bad UK court ruling. I'm in Meta right now, but we're kind of flat at this point. Yeah, I did see that. About Buffett investing. Put AI to work this morning. Again, China's Vice Premier He Lifeng says China welcomes investment from all nations. We do have them speaking this morning. Again, a lot of people are talking about the Treasury General account has surpassed 900 billion for the first time since 2021. The TGA is the U.S. government's main checking account at the Federal Reserve, now risen by 660 plus billion since June. Yeah, so this is what, here's the report. Okay. First they give me a link. Okay, yeah. So look. Prelim US estimate of average increase of 14,000 jobs in 4 weeks. It said ADP announced it will release a prelim U.S. estimate of ADP national employment weekly each Tuesday starting today. And again, this was on October 28th. This weekly report will provide the change in private sector employment, offering the most current view of the labor market based on ADP's fine-grained, high-frequency data. This timely and orderly weekly release of the prelim U.S. estimate will be made available to all simultaneously and will provide a directional indicator of the labor market. If you look at the schedule, here's today, 11/11. The weekly prelim estimate does come out today. So Tuesday's 8:15 is when they're going to release the report. So that's today. That's in 45 minutes. So yeah, we're going to get the report. The last one was 14.25 thousand weekly job gains. Or that might have been a monthly report. Let me see. I think maybe that last 14.25 thousand number monthly, or weekly growth. I think it was monthly. I think they actually compiled it monthly since it was the first time they were releasing it. But it might have been weekly too. I don't know if this is an average, 4-week average, or what this is. Let me check. Bad news is good news. Now, yeah, there's questions about whether high jobs is good, and people are going to react favorably to high job numbers. Again, I'm not really sure how the market's going to respond to that. I don't know if the market wants big job numbers, doesn't want. Okay, so 14.25 was average weekly growth. So 14,250 jobs in the 4 weeks. Estimate average increase per week of 14,250 jobs in the 4 weeks ending in October 11th. So it's not the total for the month, but a 4-week moving average of the weekly job gains. So again, 14,250 jobs per week over the last 4 weeks. That would make it, 58,000 jobs or whatever that is, 59,000. So 59, yeah, that'd be 59. Yeah, that'd be 59,000. Or 29,000. Yeah, 59,000. That's right. Trying to make sure my math is right early this morning. It'd be 57,000. Sorry, is the number. Now that I look at it, I keep thinking. I'm thinking 30 for some reason times 2. Is that number better or worse? We had last week, we had the ADP employment report, right? So like last week we had the monthly report, and they skipped this weekly report last week because they said when they drop it weekly, they're going to do it. When they drop it monthly, they're going to skip the weekly report that specific week. And so I'm trying to remember what the last report was. I covered it on my X page. Let me look. The last weekly report showed up at 42,000. So it's 42,000. They expected 25,000. So the last weekly report, if you look at this, was 42,000 versus expected 25,000. So the last non-farm employment report last week on Wednesday was better than expected by about, by about 17,000 jobs better than expected. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously inflation problems. And again, what got us to this point, right? People are saying things are unaffordable. Again, what got us to this point in time is 2020, right? 2020 made things crazy. It really did. 2020, we brought interest rates down to almost zero. We hyper stimulated the economy through low interest rates and quantitative easing. And then we also had supply chain problems, and we also had issues. And I talk about this a lot, but it's important for people to understand how we got to where we are now in regards to inflation. Again, stimulus checks, super low interest rate environment, quantitative easing, supply chain problems and more. All of that stuff combined brought us to 10% plus inflation by 2020, or not 10%, but it depends on which inflation rate you're looking at, but brought us to 9.1% for CPI inflation by 2022, and that caused problems, right? And remember, inflation usually doesn't go down unless we go into a recession. And so prices spike, and we're kind of stuck with them. The best we can hope for is kind of some break-even years to where we're kind of flat in inflation terms. But when you zoom out and you look at it 5 years later, that's what got us to this point. Houses unaffordable, all that stuff. Yeah, I don't want a 50-year. I mean, here's the thing, though, right? So, okay. The math makes sense, but it doesn't for a 50-year mortgage. In what way does it make sense? It makes sense because it's going to do the most to hedge against inflation long term. Like, let's say we have 3% inflation, and let's say you're paying $2,000 a month. And let's call it three. Let's call it $3,000 a month. And inflation is happening. So let's say we get 3% inflation, right? Over a 50-year loan, by the time 30 years have passed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's going to feel like about $1,000 in buying power in 30 years. And so in terms of hedging against inflation, it kind of works. The problem is, like, it's not just the principal that you're paying down, it's all the other fees associated with mortgages. So where you're not going to be chipping away at it like this, but in theory, your mortgage is going to get less and less as a hedge against inflation over time. So it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't also when you consider the fees and the amortization and all the stuff going on with it, fortunately. So it kind of does, it kind of doesn't. All right, NASDAQ's falling down quickly. This looks news related here. I want to make sure they didn't drop their employment report early. Why is the NASDAQ tumbling here this morning, guys? See why. Nvidia's falling down. Apple, Amazon, Google. Meta's not really. This is Nvidia, I think, here. Look at Nvidia dump right now. Meta had bad news this morning. Whoa, look at this drop. Something's on the wire here for sure. This is not too steep to be anything else, I think. Mexico industrial production, Brazilian CPI showed up, but yeah, so SoftBank announced they sold their entire Nvidia position worth what, 6.5 billion? 6.8 billion, something like that. I don't see anything on the wires either, which is strange. It looks like Nvidia related though. If you look at Nvidia specifically, it's not really, I mean, other tech is kind of following it now with Meta, but here's Nvidia. So this looks Nvidia related. Bitcoin now under 105s. It's tumbling down quickly too. Die with a mortgage, your heirs will be responsible. Yeah, they want to keep the property. I mean, that's obvious though. I think that's pretty self-evident. You don't just get free properties. If you did, everybody that was about to pass would just buy up a bunch of property, you know. But I get it. Anyways, guys, I don't see any reason for this drop. I don't see any news. It looks Nvidia related though. And again, we did have new SoftBank sold all of their Nvidia position this morning. What a drop though in the NASDAQ here, guys. The tape is pretty quiet too. There's got to be a reason for this. Okay. Yesterday, Michael Burry did say Meta and Oracle are hiding billions in losses and overestimating earnings by 20%. All right, so Black Sea CPC blend oil exports revised down 1.45 million barrels per day for November, according to Reuters. Expect it like this. We got EU trade minister may visit India in the second week of December. We had the NFIB business optimism index show up earlier at 98.2, which is basically where it was last time, maybe 0.1% difference, or 0.01%, I should say. Very big turn here in markets. Yeah, some big money's moving something around. Because again, nothing's on the tape on any of my sources here. ADP report's still not out. It drops in 30 minutes. Yeah. All right, we're starting to get a bounce back up here. Again, the tape is pretty quiet right now. It looks Nvidia related. Again, maybe a late reaction to SoftBank, maybe some big money selling. I'm not sure. Not small. Could be the president. Let me see what the president said. But I feel like I would have seen that post too. Or the ads on the site, dude. Anytime I check what the president says, I just get spammed with ads. And it's those tricky ones too, where you're trying to click the X button, but then it changes the location slightly and boom, you click on the stupid ad. Yeah, I don't see anything from him. I see Turkish Defense Ministry says Turkish cargo plane taken off from en route to Turkey has crashed in Georgia. See that news? But yeah, we had some Meta news this morning. Meta had a bad UK court ruling. SoftBank sold all of its Nvidia stake, billions of dollars, $6+ billion stake in Nvidia. Sold it in October. They said we got the ADP jobs report coming out in about 30 minutes, and the NASDAQ is tumbling down. It looks Nvidia related though. You think this is some insider selling some of their Nvidia stake? I use a bunch of different sources. Yeah, I don't see any news on my radar either. Again, I've checked a lot of different sources. I don't see anything. And usually if it's big market moving news like this, look how steep this candle was. That's very strange. It looks Nvidia related, but it's hard to really figure out because all tech is kind of following it. It's not Apple, not Google, not AMD. I don't think it's Meta either. I think it has to be Nvidia just based off of the steepness drop in Nvidia. Market following Nvidia down for some, maybe a delayed response, but it's got to be Nvidia. Here's a rebound. Let's watch 25.6 here. I could trade this. I want to trade it. Kind of. Did I short 600s here? Half the time I try this, it just gets balled up. Alright, I can't help it. I'm gonna try. What account is this? Okay. That worked. We'll add to it here. This is a combine account, by the way. I just realized. So, transparency purposes. If we fail, it's not the end of the world. We only need about $500 to get funded in this one. Stay with it. There we go. Nice. We'll take a piece off of that. Look at that 600 rejection. Top 3 greatest level ever right there. Look at that. I celebrated too early. We got a rejection there. I just got greedy and added to it, but that's okay. It gets a combine account. I don't want to give too much back here though, so we'll add some. Got it quick. Top 4s. We should have maybe scalped the level. Bassett says a lot of heating costs come down to the states. Bassett says his current administration inherited high price levels. I'm gonna have to cut this now too. I should have stuck with the original trade. All right. This is a combine account though. I should have traded an actual funded account. I probably would have. But we do have Bassett speaking. I'm not sure where he's speaking right now, but I do see some of his stuff coming through the tape. Okay, now we're kind of flying back here where we stop. Check for more Besant posts. Okay, Besant says we inherited an affordability crisis. So we do have Besant speaking right now. ADP is coming out at 8:15 Eastern time. Yeah, it comes out weekly now, at least until the government resumes, which they'll shut down. So it's coming out today. They had it on their schedule today. So yeah, it's coming out weekly now. It's coming out 8:15 Eastern time. So I did get into a short on my Combine account. Let me show you this. It's just working really well. We did short it. A little risk here. Covered most of this already. Here we go. We'll hold the rest break even as long as it doesn't retrace too much. We should be okay here too. We're up a few hundred. Here we go. Got a little bit more. I want to get it to where I can add to this if I really want to. If we start creeping down, breaking lows, situation we want to get in. If not, we can just cut it flat. Yeah, so we do have the ADP numbers today. Okay, that's good. At least we're getting some momentum in pre-market this morning. I just don't know how much this is going to drop. We're already up hundreds, so I think I can just let this work and see if the bears really take control here. Again, Besant says there's been a quote-unquote gigantic drop in mortgage rates. So again, Besant speaking about mortgage rates now. There we go. Bears getting control. We're going to cover a little bit of this now. We're up 2 something at this point. There we go. Cover in here. I just cut it right there. We're too close to lows now. Maybe short another bounce or something. But once we broke down under this 25.6 level, it made sense to add back to it. Again, I still think this is Nvidia related, but the market's moving a little funny. Could be Besant. Besant said he doesn't believe tariffs are a tax on consumers. Or Weave, they sold all their Nvidia stake. Well, I saw SoftBank. Goldman Sachs proposed data schedule for when... Yeah, so we do have Goldman Sachs saying that this is when they think the data is going to start getting released here. I did see this earlier about Goldman Sachs. This is what I'm showing right here. Right. This is what I'm showing right here for when the data will come out from Goldman Sachs. So you can kind of see this. He thinks new BLS data release schedule is going to come out between the 13th and the 17th. So between Thursday basically and Saturday maybe, and Monday. He thinks that the September employment report will probably come out next week, 18th, 19th. He thinks the November employment report, which is supposed to come out December 5th, will probably come out about a week later. And that the November CPI report will probably come out about a week after December 10th, so mid next month. So that's what they think is going to happen with data. What I'm curious about, though, and what I don't see them mention here, I guess we already got in October. No. What about the October? What about the October CPI report? It's scheduled for tomorrow, or it was supposed to schedule for Thursday. Again, ADP report is coming out today. ADP report is coming out. It's coming out 8:15. Yeah, guys, so look, here is how we know the ADP report is coming out today. Because today is 11/11, and we get a weekly prelim estimate for the ADP report. So we do get the ADP report today. Ugh. Sneeze it here. Yeah, ADP is private data, not government data. So we're getting it regardless of the shutdown. And in fact, they actually picked up their reports now that the government is shut down. ADP actually picked up their reports. So we're going to get more reports from ADP. Yeah, last time they had it at an average, 14.25 thousand. So we'll see that. We don't really have an average expectational number here for ADP, but 8:15 Eastern time today is when it's dropping. SoftBank sold $6 billion from a $5 trillion company. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's more so the sentiment that creates here. All right, so Besson says, don't believe tariffs on attacks on consumers. Says, U.S. used its balance sheet to stabilize Argentina. He said there's been a gigantic drop in mortgage rates specifically. He said we inherited an affordability crisis, and lots of heating costs come down to the states. This is on MSNBC. Besson says we already have a profit on the swap line in Argentina. Are tariffs attacks on consumers? Let me know. I think eventually they get passed on. But I also understand, like, you know, I'm not one that's just a big tariff hater. I think tariffs can serve a purpose long term. There's going to be some short-term negative effects of them, and I think that's very obvious. You know, but the question is the long-term benefits worth it? And that's a much more nuanced answer. It can be. They also cannot be. It just depends on the short-term effects. Government should be open by Thursday. Green. Senate passed. Goes to the House now, and then the Prez has to sign it. I'm guessing Thursday is when we'll open up. I don't think we're going to get Thursday CPI data. I hope we do, but I don't think we are. All right, so JP Morgan expects the Bank of England to deliver 325 basis point cuts in each December, March, and June versus prior forecast of 2. All right, guys. They put a calendar out in their last ADP report. Calendar, there it is. Okay, so this is for the where's the weekly ADP report? I know it's coming out. Yeah, because look, It's definitely coming out. NASDAQ sideways now. It's coming out because, look, the October 2025 ADP National Employment Report released on November 5th. The next weekly prelim estimate of the private sector employment will be available on November 11th at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. That is today. They said go to this site. We'll be here Tuesday. Today. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Tips you're going to use to run AI if not in this. Yeah, I think Nvidia is still okay. But I think you also have to take into account Nvidia's growth over the last year, plus really the last 4 or 5 years. Like, look at Nvidia. Nvidia back in 2022 was less than $10 a share. It got down to like 7s, I think. Now it's at 200s. Oh, at 195s at least, but they're gapping down a little bit. Bitcoin down as well. Yeah, data's coming out soon. At 15 minutes, really, give or take. Yeah, again, the ADP employment change weekly is supposed to drop at 8:15. The last one came out a couple weeks ago. They didn't come out last week. SoftBank disclosed its stake sale, which was conducted in October, reported a surge in its fiscal second quarter net profit, driven by profit on its investment in ChatGPT developer OpenAI. NASDAQ's very choppy ahead of this report now. Banks being closed. Bubble will only burst when Nvidia's officially ruled a monopoly and must be split into 3 companies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Maybe. I don't know. It's now time to buy here, guys. We did a poll whether ADP weekly report shows stronger or weaker growth. 56% say weaker, 44% say stronger. Yeah, it's Veterans Day today, chat. So, shout out to all that served in the military. We appreciate you guys and girls. Honestly, I'm for getting rid of income taxes, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. You know, I would love for them to get rid of, especially like property taxes are the most ridiculous, in my opinion. I'd rather income tax just because of the effect of that for me. It would be great. I would love it. But I also understand it. And property taxes, I think, are the most nonsensical taxes. Like, hey, you want to own that place, you got to pay 2-3% of what it's worth every year to the government. That's crazy, especially with the high valuations we're now getting in properties. Kind of cuts everybody out of it. Yeah, like I said, I don't think getting rid of income tax is ever going to happen. I think yeah, never going to happen. Barry. Body on your property, and then they can't charge you property tax. Yeah, but then you got ghost problems, you know, so you got to question which one's worse. Income taxes or property taxes or ghost problems. I would say probably, you know, property taxes are worse, but you know, it's arguable. It's subjective, I guess. 25.6 here, chat. 25.6. Let's see if we get over it. Yeah, government funding did pass the Senate, droids. 100%. Government's still not open yet. It has to pass the House now. Where's Johnson at? I'm going to bring everybody back now. You know, what are they doing? Not there. Honestly, you want to make deals get done? I said this last week, and then, like, make them stay there the entire time. They can't freaking leave until you get a deal done. They can't leave until the House approves it. You know, just make them stay there. Eventually, that'll force them to get a deal done. If they're allowed to go skiing or whatever they're doing right now, I don't know. I'd imagine they're skiing. They're never going to get a deal done. They're going to say, you know what, let's push this back. Force them to just stay there. You don't have any money? That's the grandma quote from Happy Gilmore. Why she lost her house. We're up to 25,600s here. All right, guys, 12 minutes. Again, every week we get a weekly ADP report. I don't know if they're going to change this once the government resumes, but at the very least, we're getting private payroll data weekly now, which is great. Honestly, I hope they keep this even when the government opens, because if they do, we'll get a private payroll every Tuesday from ADP. And then Thursday, we'll get jobless claims, unemployment filings, and then whatever else we got going on. So it'll just give more stuff to do. So I'm hoping that's the standard they keep, is that they keep dropping this. I'm not confident they will, but I hope they do. Let me see if they said. Yeah, they said this. They said, for nearly 2 decades, we have provided valuable labor market data to the public at no cost through ADP National Employment Report. ADP's near real-time employment data released weekly will now provide an even clearer picture. Hey, dude. Are you a count today? You look like a count, bro. You look like a vampire. You gotta, like, walk off and be like this, and then walk off with your head down. It's just cold. Okay. There. Love you, buddy. Anyways, it says ADP's near real-time employment data released weekly will now provide an even clearer picture of the labor market at this critical time for the economy, said Neela Richardson, chief economist at ADP. This high-frequency employment pulse, like the monthly national employment report, is based on ADP's anonymized and aggregated administrative data on private sector payrolls, providing a dynamic view of job creation and loss at an unprecedented level of weekly detail. They're really selling it. I'm for it. Listen, continue to drop this weekly. I will be happy here. Yeah, one thing I genuinely don't understand is somebody being like, you know what? Let's make the government larger. How could you ever want this to happen? Like, why would you ever think that's a good idea? You know? Like, watch science fiction. You know? Alright. Here we go. 10 minutes. Isn't the market closed? The bond market is. Yeah, no, honestly, the Fed kind of needs the ADP data weekly, and they even referenced it in the last thing we got from the Fed, so they have to have this. They don't have, even when the government resumes, there's been a big blackout period for a long time. It's been a big blackout period. And so even when the data comes back, like, this private data is necessary because the government agencies haven't been pulling the data like they normally do. And so even if we get delayed data, it's probably not going to be the most accurate reports. That's what it is now. All right, guys. 7 minutes. Yeah, previously what it was 14.25 thousand. All right, guys, we got 7 minutes. Excuse me, brother. I don't know what to call you or your name. Dude, how long have you been here? You don't know my name? My name's Steve. My name's Jeff. Nobody tell him my name. We're almost up to 25 sixes here, chat. I know there's a name for it, but I don't know what to call it. Some of you guys might understand that reference. All right, chat, we got 6 minutes left. 6 minutes. Please explain ADP numbers' effect on markets. I mean, it's job numbers when we haven't had job numbers. And so it's employment data when we haven't had it. Market's kind of whippy today on bad news in tech. SoftBank selling stake in Nvda, Meta having a bad UK court ruling, and kind of just a hangover from yesterday's big gains. A lot of markets did big gains yesterday. Nvda did. Last 2 days really have been green for those markets, so we're kind of getting a small dip here. Yeah, it looks, as long as the labor data doesn't turn it the opposite way, maybe we could see a bounce today after a dip. I'm not sure though. Here we go. We got 5 minutes left. You know, stronger private labor is good for economy overall. Yeah, but we could be in a situation where the Fed is looking at this data and the market wants rate cuts in December. And so stronger labor data would actually create less of a need to cut rates in December and maybe push back those odds. So NASDAQ has completely rebounded from this big crazy drop that we saw earlier that didn't really have a catalyst for it. And so I don't know why the market didn't really react to this, but here we go. Again, ADP National Employment Change Weekly Report. Again, ADP Employment Change Weekly Report. Last time it showed an average of 14.25 thousand jobs created weekly in a 4-week moving average of jobs. Again, 14.25 thousand weekly. Oh, should I change the music? Oh, man, this is old music. Now back up. Pre-ADP jitters. Yeah, I think the market's kind of waiting now. We'll see. In 4 minutes. All right, we're back up over 25 sixes here in the NASDAQ. That's a 200 exponential. Again, Nvidia broke down. Bitcoin back at 104.5s. 104.5s. Still waiting on this report. I think a lot of markets are. Looking at gold this morning. Gold's still well over 4,100. Bounced right around 4,000 and continued higher here. Almost to 42s. Let's see if gold continues. I'll put gold up for this jobs report. Again, we're still kind of waiting for this report to come out. But we got a couple minutes left here, chat. Maybe 3 minutes. Hit the live button next to the play button. Also put it in 2x speed. You'll catch up. At the very least, we're getting ADP numbers here while we wait for the government to open. Give me your prediction. 56% of people think we're gonna have. Again, 56% of people think we're gonna have weaker job numbers. 44% think stronger. All right, chat. Here we go. And we're waiting on the site. All right, NASDAQ at 25 sixes here. Again, last time it showed up at 14.25 thousand, 14.25 thousand. Hit the live button next to the play button, put it in 2x speed. We got about a minute and a half left. If you put it in 2x speed, you'll catch up as soon as it drops. And again, last time it should have been 14.25 thousand, 14.25K. The NASDAQ go up here. All right, Hawaii Tech advances data center agriculture architecture powered by its Ascend chips. All right, again, still waiting on this. Get about 45 seconds. Hit the live button, put it in 2x speed, catch up to the stream. All right, so again, hit the live button, put it in 2x speed. Reports in about 30 seconds here, 30 seconds. Here. All right, guys, we got 15 seconds. 15 seconds. And here we go. Again, 14.25 thousand jobs is what it showed up at last time. Let's see if the market reacts to this here. And here's the report right now. Pulling the data. Let's see. Looking on the side, I don't see it yet. Waiting on ADP to release it. Don't see it yet. Yeah, I'm not even showing it out yet, but we are dropping right now. Loading, but I don't see anything yet. Looks like they're a little late here today, guys, on this. Yeah, we're kind of not moving. I think the whole market's waiting for it. I don't see it yet. Still loading here. It's supposed to come out at 8:15 this morning. But we'll see. Waiting on it, guys. Bear with me. Nah, we would have seen it on the tape if it was released 50 years ago. I think they're just late. We're supposed to get it, but they don't have it this morning. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't really see it, fortunately. It's supposed to come out. I don't see it loaded anywhere. Still says it's loading, so they could just be late. Again, just so you guys know, I'm not messing with you guys here. Like, look, here's the schedule for it. Just so you see I'm not messing with you. Here's the actual schedule for it from ADP. This is today. We're supposed to get a weekly prelim estimate today. I don't see anything from ADP. Weird. I don't see anybody covering it either, though. Very strange here today, guys. But they scheduled it. Why wouldn't they release it if they scheduled it? They literally said it's coming out today. Look. 11/11, that's today. 8:15 Eastern time, that's right now. Weird. Yeah, I'm looking for it, but nothing. Strange. Why would they say it's coming out and it's not coming out? Please visit this weekly at 2:15. ADP, you're dropping the ball on this. Sports. Macro. Data Lab. Events. Media. Weird. Sorry guys, no data, I guess. I don't know. It's supposed to come out today. Last time it showed 14.28 thousand here. But I don't see anything today. Strange. It could be Veterans Day, but why'd they schedule it for today at 11/11, which is today? Well, we're supposed to get it. It's not on Bloomberg. Like that too. Could be the holiday, but they scheduled it on the holiday at 8:15 Eastern time. Weird. And yeah, and I see some other places loading it, but very strange. Supposed to get the ADP jobs report today. I don't know what they did, why they wouldn't release it after saying they were going to release it. This is why we can't rely on ADP. Bring the government back. You know? All right. Good day. Yeah, that's weird. And the market hasn't really moved. Maybe the market's waiting for it. Yeah, this doesn't have much to do with banks. Yeah, it might be a bank holiday. Kind of okay with no news since it's a slow bank holiday. It's a bank holiday, bro. They scheduled it for 11/11. Again, this is what I don't understand. Where'd it go? Where's my page I just had? They scheduled it for today. Weird. Strange. Yeah, I see this guy Michael Brown. I kind of agree with him, honestly. Look at him. It said ADP can't get the data right on a monthly basis, but reckon they can do a weekly series too. Now they can't even get the weekly series out on time. So other people are like, what the heck as well? It's not just me. ADP, what are you doing? Okay, 11,250 jobs. They said for the 4-week ending in October 25th. Private employees shed an average of 11,250 jobs. So we did get the jobs data. Here it is. I'll put it up on screen. It just took a little while. They're just late. It says 11,250 jobs a week, lower than last time at 14.25 thousand, suggesting that the labor market struggled to produce jobs consistently during the second half of the month. So we did get it. It's just late. Alright, let me make sure that works. Alright, so you can see it at the bottom of the screen. NASDAQ is finally reacting negatively this here. They're just late on this now. So we get 11,250 jobs per week here, lower than last time. We're finally getting a delayed response to this. Look at the NASDAQ drop here. So yeah, I don't know. Again, they're 8 minutes late with this report. 8 minutes late. Get better, ADP. I don't trust you now. Now you're kind of weird. They get 11,000 is what it showed up as. 11,250 private sector jobs. Dang it, man. Now I didn't even get my X post out here. I had it ready. 11,250. They're just late. 11,250 jobs. They're just late. See it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Look at the delayed response. Come on, ADP. I feel like they didn't even plan to come out today. They just saw everybody talking about it, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, wait. Again, 11,250 jobs. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they and again, here's the here it is right here. 4-week moving average 11,250. Year-over-year change in private sector employment 0.3%. Between 2010, private employment grew by 2% year, but in 2020, jobs gain. Labor supply and demand by slowing. Economists are on the lookout for a new break-even rate. That's the minimum number of jobs the economy needs to add each month to keep the unemployment rate steady. But over the next decade, it would be difficult to find and maintain balance in the labor market. Retirees are growing in numbers and population growth of prime age workers between 25 and 54, slowing new development in AI or changing workplace. Aging U.S. population will give healthcare employment a consistent boost. Job growth in other sectors term demand fluctuations that are difficult to forecast in the presence of labor changing technology advancements. Not only is the pace of employment growth shifting slower, it's doing it in a jagged path across occupations and increasing geographies. Going forward, instead of being a stable constant, the break-even rate will more likely be constantly moving. So how slow is too slow? That'll be an open question for years. Okay. So yeah, NASDAQ did not like these labor numbers, and look at the NASDAQ drop pretty consistently on this report here. Yes, weekly. It's an average of weekly numbers, I think. Or hold on. In the 4 weeks ending October 25th. Again, private employers shed an average of 11,250 jobs a week. Labor market struggled to produce jobs consistently during the second half of the month. Those numbers are prelim and could change as new data is added. NASDAQ did not like these job numbers. Again, NASDAQ did not like these job numbers. I almost want to buy this here. Let me see. All right, we'll try. It's a combine account. Don't judge me. I need to make like 500 bucks in this thing and I'll get funded. Check out TopStep if you want to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell. You can see how similar this is to day trading stocks. I'm going to cut half of this. You can see how similar this is to day trading stocks. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow. Very similar. Great way to learn when most day traders lose. Risking something, but not $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 like a lot of new traders end up doing. Makes sense in the beginning because most day traders lose. And they give you a 50K demo, they test your skill, you pass the test, they fund you, you fail, you lose 50 bucks. 90% split once you're funded. It's the best of both worlds. I might actually add down on this, see if we get a liquidity grab down here, but it's risky. And again, it's a combine account, so if I lose, it's not the end of the world. But again, TopStep's a sponsor, but I'm biased. Genuinely useful for traders, though. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Make your own assessment. Trade smart. All that good stuff. Let's see if we get a bounce here. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. We've already got a pretty big drop here, and we also crack lows. And so I think there's a chance we bounce back, but I might be wrong here. We've already got a $300 cushion on the day, so even if we do go the opposite, won't be too bad. There we go. What do you guys think of the jobs report? Definitely weaker here. I'll end this poll. There we go. Nice little bounce back here. Yeah, let's take a look at yields and how they're responding to this labor report. I'm sure yields are going to go up on this report most likely just because interest rates and yields follow each other or no, I'm sure yields are going to be decreasing on this. I mean, just because interest rates and yields follow each other. So the yields are kind of... What's up with the yields? Oh, banks are closed. Bonds are closed. That's what this is. Bonds are closed. I forgot. Bonds are closed today. There we go. I'm going to cut some of this up here. There we go. Oh, we're going to add to this, actually. A little bit more. A little bit more. Look at this rebound here. Got a little bit more. Got the rest. Yeah, we're like 250 away now. I always think you're in an RV. RV, bro? This is an RV. It's a nice RV. I'm not in an RV. I mean, definitely not an RV. Be a nice RV if it was. Should have held this long. Look at this. There's 25,600s right here. Jeff. Mom's basement? That's a nice basement. What's a better poll here? The market rebound ahead of the opening bell. Should have shorted 600s too here. I was thinking about it. Question is, do we continue to break down? I don't know. I don't think so. As we continue to break down. Let me try buying this down here. See what happens. Start small. So we can retrace back up to 600. Definitely possible bears pick up and drag us back down today based off all the bear stuff. But we got a huge cushion on the day, so even if we do, we'll just start selling like this. Then maybe add back if we get green. That way kind of our risk is lower. There we go, there's a bounce. Go. About half of it right there. Hold the rest break even. Did Burry comment about ADP? Hold on, let me look. Where's Burry at? Where's old Cassandra Capital? I realize I have to edit this post. It was negative 11,000. Alright, so we're up. What do I do here? I guess I just keep holding this long. Long was right. Look at this long right here. I'm gonna add to this now. I might as well. Alright, we're gonna take that piece off there. Get out the rest right there in the green. Long was correct here. Look at us getting bought back up. Okay. Yeah, I don't see Powell comment on the labor data. Or not Powell, I don't see Burry comment on this. He might though, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe so jobs cooled heavily, negative 11. Fix the scroller. Alright, so there we go. I fixed the scroller. Better at the bottom of the screen. Again, we're back up to that 200 exponential. Gold's still rising. Nvda weak this morning. They had bad news. SoftBank sold 6.5 billion stake in them. Looking at our poll numbers, we asked people, does the market rebound ahead of the opening? About 55% say yes, 45% say no. Yeah, here's the labor report if you guys want to see it. Again, for the 4 weeks ending October 25th, private employers should on average 11,250 jobs a week. The labor market struggled to produce jobs consistently during the second half of the month. Prelim and could change as new data comes out. Here's the report basically right here. NASDAQ's bounced back though. Again, we got like a weekly. I wonder if this drop right here, like leading into the ADP report, I wonder, you know, I'm not saying the ADP employees, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they took a bunch of positions ahead of the weaker jobs report they knew was coming out. I would never suggest they would do that. But we had this big drop for no reason. No catalyst, nothing on the tape, nothing showed up. I'm not saying that's what they did. You know. I would never say that potentially happened there. Yeah, just what I would say, you never have to buy a day trading course out there, you know. I would never tell you that. You could probably Google and find a lot of these day trading gurus courses out on the internet for free. I would certainly never recommend you don't pay thousands of dollars for a lot of these day traders courses and instead just Google it out there on the internet because it's the internet. I would never tell you guys to do that either. You know, I think it's much better to just pay $5 grand for a crappy course that is useless. You know, I would never tell you just to Google it and find those courses for free somewhere. Cheers to you guys. All right, guys, we're at Nvidia 196s here. Meta gonna drop to 500. Don't put that negativity out into the world. No, it's not going to. Remember, I bought Meta for the 3rd time. I lost the first 2 times. I bought Meta for the 3rd time last week. I think it was last week. That sarcastic, John? I don't even know what sarcasm is. SoftBank needed the money for their OpenAI commitment, so it's not really a negative reflection of Nvidia. Yeah, but I mean, Nvidia's down from it. Again, it's all about mass psychology. It's down. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, exactly. That's my name, by the way. It's Ricky Bobby. I don't know. I think they originally made those Meta glasses so that you were more, it wasn't as obvious that you were filming, but now I think everybody knows those glasses and they immediately look at them and they see the camera and so they know if you're wearing big, bulky glasses that you're probably filming. I think I say that's French. Again, the report did come out. We showed up at negative 11.25 thousand jobs. Considering the shutdown is going to be over, shouldn't markets be, especially the crypto market, be going up? I mean, it did already. Remember, Bitcoin was at 100,000. So, like, here's Bitcoin, right? You got to understand, markets are up from where they were. This is where Bitcoin was when they thought the government was going to stay closed. This is where Bitcoin is now that the government's going to be reopening soon. You know, and I checked a lot of these social media, like, there's so many people that are just, you know, there's so many people that are just pumping stuff up, crypto. But I think the government reopening is an optimistic thing, and I'm going to be watching markets to see what happens leading into Thursday. I think a lot of the moves are going to get baked in today, but all right, so markets are red today. So should I do this? I can't even see it. That's kind of pinkish, actually. Good. Why does it look yellow to y'all no matter what? Weird. Oh, because I still got my chroma key. Turn this off. My goodness. This is red. Trying to help you guys here see the color that I see, but green works. Red for some reason is just weird. Blue works. Right, we're just gonna go green. Now it looks like blue to you guys. All right, we're under 25,600s here, chat. I kind of want to short again, but the market does look a little flat here. I'm going to short this. Had your mic set to red this whole time. Yeah, I'm going to take the blame. Because my mic set to red, it's my fault the jobs numbers came in weak and the market went down. Definitely my fault. We bounce up, I'll short into like into 600s, but I'm not going to be too aggressive with it. I won't take more than like 10. 6, 8. Add 10 in there and just leave it here, see if we rip down. Now the government shutdown is ending, so maybe there's an argument for more bullish action here. But I think a lot of that move is already baked in. Yeah, I'm gonna cut half of this here. Really my first somewhat loss on the day. Got it. We'll come back to this one. And it's a combine account. We'll put our actual funded account. Markets are flying back up a little bit here. I don't know why. The big move back up here, chat. Here, I gotta turn this on. Ugh. My fault. Definitely my fault. Actually, so we just got into another short. We actually caught this here. And I need a couple dollars left. I need a little bit more of a breakdown here. Let me get 2 micros. I need $30 left now to get funded in this one. $30. I have 2 micros. I'll add a little bit to this. Maybe the $30 breakdown here. We're under 25 sixes. Let me just break down a little bit more. Just a little bit. Give it to me. There we go. $15 away. There we go. $10 away. I'll add into it. If we keep dropping here. We covered a little bit more on this bounce. Again, we're still about $10 away. I'm going to add into this. We're going to take very small size. It doesn't make sense to take larger size. 3. Ah. Back down to 30. Here we go. I'm going to take half of that off. Just protect it. Again, we're $10 away. If it flushes down here, we'll get it. $5. $4. $2. $1. I gotta add a little bit more here just because I missed the exit. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back to needing $5 now, just because it's small trades here, but I don't want to add any more to this. I think I'm taking a little bit too large. I was so close. I was like $1 away. I probably would have given it to OC. Or like $30 away again. I gotta cut most of it. All right, guys, listen. We are $40 away. We'll catch it. Catch it. I'm not gonna lose the rebound here and get caught up. I'm gonna short into this too. China's commerce minister held a call with Germany's economy and energy minister, apparently. All right, we got back in 4 here. There we go. See if this drop gives it to us. A little off. We'll try to hold this mostly break even. See if we break down some more here. I think it'll give myself a good shot. JP Morgan. Gotcha. I hate this song. Yelling random words. So choppy here. I'm trying to get this last little bit. I gotta cut it. I don't want to give back too much. We need $50. I'd probably wait till the opening bell and just take like 1 or 2 micros. Probably here. We were right there too. The problem is like we're so sideways that it's hard to really get the meat of the move I need to take it. Unless I take big size, which I don't want to do. I'd rather just wait for a scalp and ease $50. Yeah, I'd probably wait to the opening bells. Probably, again, that's probably the right move, I would say. I agree. I'm probably gonna short it this whole time. This does look weak, but sometimes when it's weak like this, you get squeezed out easy. All right, looking at our poll, we did a poll 53% think the market rebounds into the open. See, look, there's the big squeeze up, which is good. I wanted to avoid it. We did tap 25.60. Part of me is tempted to short at that level. Expected it so much. We had weak labor data, bad Nvda numbers, or bad Nvda news, bad meta news. Gonna take it a shit. That level held though. Look at that. Yeah, so Apple's co-founder Steve Wozniak said Bitcoin is a mathematical purity. Again, remember, bonds are closed today. Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans. Again, weekly jobs showed up for ADP at negative 11.25 thousand. Last time was 14.25. Gain. One of the things we'll probably see is when yields. All right, I'm going to take this retracement drop. If I short a little pop here. We have 3. I'm looking for a little bit more, but if I could scalp $50. Fill this gap a little bit down, and we should go. Go. Took one off down there. We'll add to it if it gets more green. There we go. Another off. Yeah, we need a very small amount now. We'll add a little bit more if we race back up there. Back down. Oh, exactly. All right, very close. We just get a little bit more rejection down. I'll add to a retracement and then hold it pretty close to flat here on the rest too. If it fills some of this right here, that can sometimes work, but flat. I can use pause here. Almost to the top of the hour. Piece off. Put into this, maybe double size. Retrace back down. Go. Very close. Contracts left. pop back up. I get up the rest here. We're like $25 away, so we'll wait for a move back up and then support if we can get a high percentage here. I'll take it. I don't like this. Like if you zoom out here, look at this support right here. This is what I was worried about. Maybe I could have held. There's the top of the hour in 2 minutes. Might want to let that settle first. We'll try 2. 4. Get the last bit here. Wait, how am I an 8? Oh no, I accidentally just bought 8. I didn't mean to buy 8. I have to cut a piece of stupid. I must have had the order set 4 and not realize it. So push me back a little. I still think we're gonna hit it today. Alright, here's the top of the hour in 2 minutes. Government's not back yet. Government comes back probably Thursday, is my guess. Thursday. Nvidia news was that SoftBank sold their entire $6.5+ billion stake in Nvidia in October. Meta had a bad court ruling in the UK, dragging markets down. Gold's still elevated at 4150s. Nvidia's down though. NASDAQ's down. S&P's down. Yeah, this price action is not good. But we're gonna day trade closer to the opening bell. There's the top of the hour in 40 seconds. Bitcoin's still falling down. Look at Bitcoin this morning. Got 107s earlier, like way earlier. Now 104s. Bitcoin's struggling here. Bull carcass pattern. First head and shoulders. Yeah, stop shorting. It looks like at the right time. All right, now we're popping back up. Here's the top of the hour right now. There's 9 a.m. I don't want to short again. All right, got 5 contracts. Need a little bit more now. Definitely not. See, so we cut most of it. Yeah, we're still up about 500. We'll still probably catch it. That's the big, that's the top of the hour. There's a 200 exponential. Try to add up to the 200 exponential, maybe. Ah, it hurts. I was literally like $1 away. I should have just traded small. I mean, we're green in all our funded accounts. Everyone just buy. Like I said, I'm gonna add up to the 200 EMA here, see if we reject more. Let's try to get this last 200. We're about flat. Let's see if we go into the green here. At least a candle wick. There we go. Off here. Take half off there. Ride the rest down. Get another half off there. In case we bounce at 600. We're basically right back to where we were. Need to add probably a retracement. This. You think we get any more rate cuts? I think we get one more in December. There we go. Okay, so we've got a big cushion. We're about flat. I'm going to add to this. Not a lot. We got to get under 5.6. Right back off. All right, we got a nice cushion here. We retrace back up. I'll add to it, and this should get us. There's a little retracement back up. Back down. That'll. All right, we got it. Took a little time, but yeah, we got it. There we go. So we're at $53,001 OCD. You'd love to see it. All right. $53,001. A little stressful, but did it. Easy peasy. Sorry, my dad. My kids say that all the time. China's commerce minister on U.S. pausing affiliate rule says two sides will continue discussions about the arrangement after 1 year pause. Truist also reiterates a hold on Tesla at 406 target. Analyst William Stein reaffirmed a hold rating on a 406 price target on Tesla. He said shareholders' approval of Elon's pay package removes a key risk of Musk leaving, but noted Tesla's physical AI projects, FSD, robotaxis, and Optimus remain unproven with little revenue. Again, SoftBank sells 5.8 billion stake. It wasn't 6 plus. It was 5.8 billion apparently. Very choppy markets though the last 2 days. I think the markets are just waiting for the government to open up. Now, I was shorting up here. I might have long, but I was mostly short. And the reason I'm short is because markets are down. We had weak job data. A lot of the time, what you saw me short into on that last trade is the 200 exponential. If you look at the 200 EMA, look at how much the market reacts to this. So like even just today on a choppy market, here's the 200 EMA. It's this blue line right here. Exactly off of it. Exactly off of it. Right around it. Right around it. Right around it. Exactly off of it. Right around it. Exactly off of it. You can kind of see on a 1 minute chart, if we continue the same trend, that 200 EMA is going to be a pivot point a lot of the time. So that's what I was getting into on this one. How long did it take you? 3 days? I think I traded this account. Maybe 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. That's of it. Okay, so we made 1350 one day, 989 other, and but 8.59 losses 5% percentage. Pretty good. All right. Yeah, we're just chopping sideways, so we're just attacking the range mostly. I think the date on the Netflix split is the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Netflix official split is on the 17th. Correct? Something like that. It's like 17. What's up, Ian? Hey, thanks, man. All right, guys, 23 minutes. We're going to be day trading live at the opening bell. Watch 25,600 as well. This level has been a natural, like, pivoting. Markets have kind of followed. It's not perfect. Sometimes it breaks over, and then when it breaks over, I use the 200 EMA to kind of last stop it. Yeah, it's the 17th. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was, the 17th. I don't think we have anything else today either. Again, user reports indicates problems. Bassett also notes a gigantic drop in mortgage rates. He said that earlier, though. China willing to work with the U.S. for stable global supply chain. That's good. China is ready to collaborate with the United States to maintain a stable worldwide supply chain. Again, the Commerce Minister on the U.S. pausing affiliate rule said two sides will continue discussions about arrangement after the one-year pause. He also said that the U.S. suspended its affiliate rule, but both sides will continue discussions on the matter. SoFi became the first nationally chartered U.S. bank to launch Bitcoin and crypto. And SoFi. Green. Viewed it open? I don't know. I don't know what the market's going to do. You guys green or red today? Again, looking at our poll, 53% say yes. 47% say no. In terms of does the market rebound? We've rebounded up some, but it's kind of muted. We're kind of slow. Maybe the market wakes up at the open. I think you got two different theories you can do today on the market. I think one of them is when you take a look at the Q and you put up like a 10-day chart. I think we've started to rebound back up last few days, yesterday and day before. And then this morning we're dipping back down a little bit. Maybe this is a bounce. We could continue higher leading into the government shutdown resuming. And y'all let me know which one you guys think. Here's option one. And then I think also option two is that we're down, rebound. You know, obviously we can continue down. And I think with the weaker job numbers at negative, what was it? Negative 11.25. Maybe we'll see a delayed response to that in terms of the ADP report. But I don't know. Yeah, 25.6 reacting again. Or market's reacting to 25.6 again. Which one do you guys think? You think bull or bear at the opening bell? We could have a delayed response. Again, I really don't know. Up top chat up it is. Bear. The futures don't have time decay. Can't you hold on for days until okay? I mean, you could try. You know, I think there's one big thing you're getting wrong with that is that futures don't have to swing your way in a day or two. If you have to effectively sell your contracts quarterly because they expire quarterly. There's not really time decay like options, but it's more so of you're tracking commodities and other things, and they don't have to swing your way within days. Bear, 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 bear. Seems so choppy, neutral. Bear, bear. Most people are bear. Why are you bearish on Powell, Raymond? Wouldn't we have a higher likelihood of a rate cut in December based off of this jobs data? No. Also, next week we do have the FOMC minutes report. Next Wednesday. We got the minutes report and Nvda earnings. Nvda earnings are next Wednesday, right? Yep. Yeah, again, like I said, I think weaker jobs data means higher likelihood of a rate cut. I think if we look at the... Okay, so it says China will talk with U.S. about a new plan following delay in the implementation of the affiliate rule. If we look at the CME watch tool, bonds are closed today, so we might not see much movement in this today. Kind of related to bonds, but 70-30 right now essentially is where we're at for rate cuts in December. I still think it's very probable we're going to cut rates in December. You think Powell's going to be hawkish? Give me your reasoning for that. Hey, he might be. I'm just going by the latest report, which was weak for labor. Weak labor means dovish, because it means we might need a lower rates to stimulate the economy because the labor market's weaker, if that makes sense, right? So labor market being weak means higher chance of rate cuts, not lower. Now, it depends on how much weight you think Powell's going to have on ADP. I think Powell's going to put a lot more weight on this than he normally would. Just because we don't have government data to go off of yet. The government should be back open by Thursday. We're supposed to get a CPI and PPI inflation report later this week. I think maybe they're probably not gonna release CPI and PPI. They're gonna release delayed versions of it, or they might release some of the older ones that we missed on Friday. But I think the government's gonna open up Thursday, and then they're probably gonna announce some type of early reporting for next week is my guess. And next week's a busy freaking week here. We got Nvda earnings, Fed minutes report. We're probably going to have some of that pushback data once the government opens this Thursday. And so I think next week's going to be incredibly busy. NASDAQ back over 25.6 this year. CPI and PPI will be high. Any pauses? Maybe. How do I get a number 3 crown? You comment a lot. Oh, you comment number 3 right now. Let's take a look at our top fans today. We got D number 1, Steve number 2, Vasquez number 3, another Steve number 4. Shout out to the Steves. On number 5, Cato number 6, Drop number 7, Faye number 8, Matt Bailey number 9, Yee number 10, Ur number 11, Will number 12. We have Fender number 13, Pew Pew number 14, Robert Key number 15, Kim number 16, Miss Tiny number 17, Graph number 18, VA number 19. Joker number 20, Raymond number 21, Chef number 22. Shout out to you guys. My prediction. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes till the market opens. Dollars down a little bit ahead of the data releases. NASDAQ's trying to find its way back up though here. Let's see if we actually go green. Dixie is down a little bit on the jobs. Dollar index down 0.2%. Again, China says it's ready to work with the US though to maintain a stable growth or stable supply chain. do you feel about Outkast making the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I like Outkast personally. Yeah. And I think they probably deserve it. Let them be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Or hey, what's up, Chef? Sorry you didn't make your 1,000 to 1 bet. So close yet so far, but appreciate the support. All right, guys, we have 13 minutes until the opening bell today. I'm just glad we're getting data back here. How you guys doing? NASDAQ back up over the 200 exponential. Here's the previous top up here. It's at like 625s or so, 626, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it, make it a color level, which a lot of the time the market respects. And so we're getting pretty close to that level. We're at 625s now, or 6. Watching Nvda. Nvidia's been kind of choppy on a 5-minute chart. The dollar index has been breaking down most of the morning. Again, Meta's had bad news, but it's starting to find its way back up there. It's almost up to 628 here, like kind of bouncing back some from this news. We got about 11 minutes here. Nvidia's had bad news. Tech has had bad news, but most of the markets are still up over the last 24 to 48 hours. We'll see what the opening bell brings. We've been it's kind of choppy, so we traded a combine account, got funded on another account this morning. Kind of eliminate some of the risk of trading my actual funded account. And yeah, now we're waiting for the opening bell, which is in only a couple minutes here. Yeah, no, we already talked about it, Blake. Nvidia's still up over the last 24 to 48 hours, like I said. Really, the last 2 days have been green. 1, 2. A little pullback here. Maybe it bounces back up now. I think that's possible. How much weight you think the labor market data is going to give this? But will there be more economic data this week? We're supposed to get CPI and PPI later. We're supposed to get jobless claims Thursday. But again, I think the government opening up Thursday and expecting them to still release CPI the same day the government opens back up, I think it's very low odds of that. I think we're going to have delayed numbers coming back once the government pops back open. But I think maybe we'll get one on Friday for delayed data. Just depends on when they decide to release. But starting next week, we're going to start getting jobless claims again. We're going to start getting all that stuff. Now, the data that we are going to get coming out is going to be a little bit, it's going to be less accurate than it normally is. I'll put it that way. They haven't been getting the data in a lot of places, so. You don't think the government opens up this week, Drop? I mean, I think the House will probably vote on it tomorrow. I think the House will probably open up tomorrow. Or the House will kind of get in session tomorrow, I mean. And President will sign it by late tomorrow, Thursday. Have the government open it back up Thursday, probably. Probably. Not 100% sure. Yeah, I don't know about the tariff stuff. I don't know how that's going to affect the market if it does. Really don't know. All right, guys, here we go. Opening bell, 7 minutes. Yeah, negative 11.25 thousand jobs in the ADP report today. Weak, for sure. Don't really have anything else. Government's been shut down, but that should be rectified soon. We're back up there, 625. So we're testing that level now. Starting to get some bulls back in control here leading into the opening bell, though. We are starting to get something. Hey, nice Vasquez. I think my oil doesn't run on supply and demand, but rather the whim of the traders, the way price. I mean, I would say that it has to do there tiny with Middle Eastern news a lot of the time. Like stuff going on overseas, it influences supply and demand of oil. And so, you know, that dynamic influences oil a lot, is supply and demand because of stuff, right? Yeah, you're basically talking about Schedule F of this bill drop. It's specifically designed to block the president from his Schedule F initiative, plan to reclassify tens of thousands of federal employees as at-will political appointees, which would make them easier to fire. Bro, I swear, if they don't open the government back up this week, yeah, I'm kind of reading this. Maybe, I think Drop is right. But I think one of the compromises was that it had that language in that the president needs to just kind of sign it and stop getting weird with it. Because if we have to go all the way back to the Senate and risk them filibustering this again, that's going to be ridiculous. Look at Meta pop back up here. But I think part of the compromise was that language to the bill. The president needs to just freaking. They better not figure out a way to mess this up and bring us back to the filibuster. Oh, it really is gonna make me mad, dude. I'm already kind of mad just reading this. Alright, guys, we're about to day trade live. We got 3 minutes. It's been a pretty good day overall here. Ugh. It says the president has reportedly agreed to it and will sign the bill. The The Guardian, in a live update from this morning at 8:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, The Guardian reports, speaking from the Oval Office on Monday, the president said he would abide by the terms of the deal, including provisions reinstating federal workers who had received reductions in force notice. We're going to be opening up our country very quickly. The president said the deal is very good. Source is a report from last night details the provision, noting that in one concession to the left, the bill will unwind more than 4,000 employees. Analysis of the compromise. Your analysis that it was a compromise is exactly correct, because that's what I told AI. I was like, isn't that part of the compromise of this bill, though? Veto threat is off the table. Yeah, okay, so they'll probably open the government up this week. It's hard to trust AI because, like, the last post that AI sent me literally said, yeah, it's unlikely the government's going to open up this week. And then I was like, hey, but isn't there a compromise? Isn't this compromise part of the original agreement? And now AI's like, wait, you're right. It is. So, I don't know. NASDAQ coming back down here. Opening bells in 2 minutes. All right, NASDAQ breaking down here, 25,600. I also think the president's going to be a little bit more weary to continue laying off people because it's going to affect job numbers under his administration, and that's not going to be a good look for him because we're going to have big spikes down in labor because of these layoffs continuously, and if he keeps doing it, it's only going to cause problems. And I think if he brings back the federal workers, and he backtracks on the firing, I think it's going to kind of hamper his job numbers under his administration. And so I think just because of that, there's a chance that he backtracks on all this stuff. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. Good luck. Yeah, sometimes you gotta say, AI, what are you talking about, man? Get it right. Market's very choppy leading into the opening bell in 30 seconds, though, guys. Let's see what we get. Hey, good luck, good luck, Tiny. Good luck, chat. What do we get today? Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. I say, give me your sources, AI. All right, here's the opening bell. Good luck, guys. Ding, ding, ding. There's the opening bell. Okay, so NASDAQ still looking under the 200 exponential. Let's watch Meta. Let's watch Nvda here at the opening bell. Nvda just cracked down a little bit at the bell, 194.60s, but not a huge drop. Meta bouncing back up a little bit here. All right, NASDAQ rebounding back up here. Meta's kind of flat. Nvidia's down. Apple is surging at the opening bell at 270s. Yeah, this is why I don't trade for the first 5 minutes here. All right, we tapped 625s. Here, chat, 625s. All right, so okay, AI is refusing to give me this. All right. And Nvidia is still down though, back down to 190s here. Still within the range that we were at the opening bell. Bitcoin's testing the lows of the day again as well. Okay, why is AI being this way? Yeah, bond markets are closed. Yep. All right, starting to push back up. Look at Apple and Nvidia starting to rise back here. Getting stronger now. Yeah, the bond market's closed today. China says it's willing to work with the U.S. for a stable global supply chain. All right, look at Nvidia come back down at the volume weighted average price. Bitcoin's still looking a little weak here. All right, market's turning all the way back down. Big drop here. I still can't quite trade yet. I need to wait a couple minutes here, but I might try on my funded account. If I catch a retracement back up. The big retracement. All right, I'll try to short this now, guys, but it's risky. We'll add a little bit to it if we go green here. 2 micros. Take half off just based off of the strength. Add back if it. Okay, that's better. Very choppy markets right now. Yeah, we're gonna cut that and just wait now. Very choppy market. Y'all just be careful. Apple looks to be fading back down too, and Nvidia still looks weak here, so that's why I'm trying to short here, but again, but take some size now. Looks good for a second. Add back to it 4 contracts. There we go. Turns back down. Get it rejected at the top here, but I'm going to cover half of this and wait now. We go green, we'll add to it. Wait, we're whipping back and forth. There's just not really a good edge here, I think. Get out, that looks... Such a choppy open though, guys. Y'all be careful. This to a different one. I think it wants to go up. Watch 650 up here. Apple, Nvidia, Meta looking okay. 50 held. Look at that drop in markets right now. That's a big drop. I will short this retracement back up here, see if we get some more. Add to 5 and we'll keep it at 5 max. Break down now. There we go. Alright. We keep dropping. This is that first account we were trading on all morning. Trying to kind of attack some of this bearish movement here, but it's kind of flat. Got it right there. Very flat open though, guys. We're kind of looking. This is the price action we've gotten since the opening bell here. We got an opening range though, so maybe we have something, but it's very flat. We're green on the day, but still watching 625. See if this rejects it back down to 600s. Might try to take it, get back up there with small size. Let's back up there. This night. Okay. Apple's starting to rise, so it's looking worse for us right now anyway. Good Apple. Nvidia's back up some too. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. No PDT. Real great way to learn. Most day traders lose money. Doesn't matter where you go, what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders lose. Again, so you can limit your risk, reset funded accounts even. All kind of good stuff. Super reliable payout. 0 commission on Top Step X. There's the link right there. They're an affiliate or sponsor of mine, so I'm biased. But yeah, understand all this stuff on screen. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Just make your own assessment. Trade smart. Can't guarantee anything. All right, so now we're starting to flush back down, but very choppy open. All I know, I think Powell speaks in December, and the FOMC meeting is the next speech. I don't think he has any scheduled speeches outside of that right now, not that I know of. All right, look, here's a breakdown in the NASDAQ here, but a quick retracement back up. I'm gonna short this now. 3 contracts. We add a little bit up to it. See if we flush back down here. Go. Green. Go. Off here. We add some size back. Down now. My fault for trading chop. What a squeeze up. Gonna have to switch. Dude, I'd be very careful trading this market, guys. I really would. It's not really a market to trade. Everything's kind of flat and sideways. Look at Apple though, guys. Apple's rising to 272s here. I'm not really mad. I'm actually green. I just made the money back, but It sometimes takes trades off stream just because of that. But here's like, I actually just made the money back, and I'm green on the day if you look at it. Here's the same account that ran on one. I don't know why it doesn't show the. Wait, here, let me find. This is the same account. Trading on money. It's green. I actually made the money back, but I don't want to set a bad example. Act chop sometimes, so now market's starting to flush. It's just kind of sketchy today. This is not easy money to make today at all. Try shorting this again, but I'm gonna start small now and then add to win versus starting large. I don't know if you're saying I'm mad like angry or you're like British saying John's mad, bruv. Like crazy. So. We're green on our little bitty contract here. Don't really have any moments to add to it. Both? Probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. Probably both. Alright, we got 2 contracts now. And we're just with this. I don't think I'm gonna cover half of it. Yeah. This is tough trading in it. I watch Ted Lasso a lot in it. Mate. In it. The other one. Boy. Somebody explain the context of old to me as a British person. I don't know what it means. See him yell it a lot in Ted Lasso. I still don't understand. I should know. My last name's London. London. I should know this. But I don't. Alright, we're gonna cover this. We're still green on the day. But I'm doing futures trading. But the market's so choppy and favorable. I got way too many tabs of them. Finding the Discord tab where Pawn just sent me a message is like, where's Waldo right now? I genuinely having trouble finding it. I heard the notification. There it is. Got it. Look at Apple this morning though. What's the reason the market's so choppy is because Apple is flying up. It's at 273s right now. Everything else is kind of down. So we're kind of trending back and forth because of this dynamic of choppy. Some markets going up, some markets going down. The U.S. likely lost 50,000 jobs in October, according to the Wall Street Journal, citing Goldman Sachs. 50,000 jobs in October, most likely, according to Goldman Sachs. It says U.S. likely lost 50K jobs, and estimates of non-farm payrolls fell by about 50,000 in October, the largest drop since 2020. Its job growth tracker slowed to 50,000 from 85,000 in September, with an additional 100,000 job cut due to the current administration's deferred resignation program. The bank noted rising layoffs and weaker labor market indicators. Payroll reports for September and October remain delayed by the government shutdown. So. 50,000 jobs. October. Guys, I don't know what to do with this here. Where's Meta at right now? Let's see where Meta's at. Meta's flat. I'm not selling. If it falls under 600, I'm selling for sure. AMD's up today. It's at 246 this year. Look at this level right here, guys. Look at that thing. Greatest level ever right there. Look at the 600 level as well. We're sandwiched between these two levels, 625 and 600. What's the Apple news? Apple has to have some news, or maybe Apple's just exhausted on the downside. I don't really see any Apple news either. Worst pawn. Yeah, I'm sure there's some AI images you can do. Apple up to almost 275s right now. Look, I'm gonna short here. Shorting essentially making a bet that Apple's gonna reject 275s right now. It's close enough to 275. We'll take a position here. There we go. Apple's kind of far away from 275 though. There we go. There we go. Now we just got to get under my last little level here. This 25,600. There we go. Add to this. Go. Cut it now. Look at that call right there, guys. Top 3 greatest call ever right there. Look at that. I'm going to cut it right here. Beautiful gain right there. Nvda. Crack lows, I believe, here the day. 193.30s. Yeah, lows of the market. Yeah, lows of the day for Nvda. Yeah, it's a flush for sure. Ooh, all right. Look at this drop right here. I don't know if this is a delayed response to the Goldman Sachs news about jobs. Again, U.S. likely lost 50,000 jobs in October. Look, here's 275s. Nvidia down to 192s, 193s here. Tech lags, Nvidia core weave weakness. Yeah, honestly, look, I get it. It was a good trade. I think I got really lucky though. Because I mean, Nvidia did, Apple did reject. The thesis of the trade was that Apple would reject before 275, and it did, right? But Nvidia decided to break down and crack lows right after I got in it. So I would love to act like it was the greatest trade ever, and I made a great call. I think a lot of it was. I'll take it. Sometimes luck's better than skill. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah. Glad next week we actually get some stuff back to talk about. Yeah, no, it's following Nvidia 100%. Nvidia decided to crack lows. Bitcoin down to 103s again here. Kind of a delayed response to the Nvidia news. What this is. Very least it's not choppy though, which as a poker player, I'll take the positive variance, you know. And again, we're green on everything today as well. Oh, that's good. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Again, check out TopStep. Great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money, and so don't fund your own account thousands of dollars trying to look cool. You'll probably lose it. Instead, try TopStep. Limit your risk. You'll still probably lose realistically because day traders just lose money. Trust me, I know because I lost thousands in my first month or two trading. This is $50 a month for the base one. It's not the end of the world if you fail it. It's kind of like a souped up demo account where you learn how to trade. You're risking something. You feel that pressure, but it's not the full extent of risking 30 grand like a lot of new traders end up doing. So again, here's the link. I'm gonna get out of here as soon as I close this stream. It'll bring it to tomorrow's stream. Let me know what you guys think the government opens up. I'm gonna go with Thursday. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a great day. Y'all be safe. Again, understand all this stuff on screen. Top 3 least trader professional people out in the world. Don't copy me. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good.